judicial killing off the coast of Venezuela.
On another issue that just has emerged within the last several minutes, Leader Jeffries, President Trump has announced a pardon of the Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife, who were charged with bribery. What's your response?
Well, Congressman Cuellar is a beloved member of the House of Representatives, loved in his community, particularly in Laredo. I've had the opportunity to spend time with him down in Laredo in South Texas. I look forward to that moving forward. Listen, the reality is this indictment was very thin to begin with, in my view. The charges were eventually going to be dismissed, if not at the trial court level by the Supreme Court, as they've repeatedly done in instances just like this.
So just to follow up on that, do you agree with the president's pardon here? Do you think that that was a good thing then?
I don't know why the president decided to do this. I think the outcome was exactly the right outcome.
Well, Congressman Cuellar, we should note, is one of a handful of House Democrats who sits in a district President Trump won in 2024. So now he has this presidential pardon. Have you had any conversations with the congressman about him potentially switching to the Republican Party?
I think Congressman Cuellar is a highly valued member of the House Democratic Caucus, and I expect that he'll continue to remain a highly valued member of the House Democratic Caucus.
What about re-election plans? Has he informed you of that?
No, I think the filing deadline in Texas is upcoming in the next few days. Many of the members of the Texas congressional delegation have yet to file for re-election. I expect that we'll see that happen in advance of the Monday deadline.
We'll see what he does.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
But all hell, what that big bad orange man cooking in that White House, that big house? What we cooking in the big house, Uncle Trump, Uncle Donnie? It just gets sweeter and spicier every single day when Trump's your president, whether you like it or not. But oh man, they talking about people switching parties. They say the hell with that Democrat party, weaponizing the system against your political opponents. You just can't make this up. As soon as that man started speaking about that doggone border, as soon as that man started speaking about the border and this and that, yeah, they said, we coming to get you. We coming to get you. We coming to get you. President Trump says, y'all see, I was right. Told you. And now daddy back in the big house. Didn't know who the hell was running the country. Granddaddy had a ice cream cone on his forehead. He didn't fell asleep. They plugged the machine up into the wall. The lady that was supposed to be at the border, she is eating the free sandwiches in the back of the room with that free drink. She down there and passed out drunk, laughing. Everything's funny. What a disgrace. We didn't know who the hell was running the country, but the machine was in the wall. The auto pen presidency. You just can't make this up, man. But Trump came out and said this a day ago. For years, the Biden administration weaponized the justice system against their political opponents. And anyone who disagreed with them, one of the clearest examples of this was Crooked Joe used the FBI and DOJ to take out a member of his own party. After highly respected Congressman Henry Cuellar bravely spoke out against open borders in the Biden border catastrophe, Sleepy Joe went after the congressman and even his wonderful wife simply for speaking the truth. It is un-American, and I previously stated the radical left Democrats are completely and total threat to democracy. But they will attack, rob, lie, cheat, destroy, and decimate anyone who dares to oppose their far left agenda. And an agenda that, if left unchecked, will obliterate our magnificent country. Because these facts and others, I hereby announcing my full and unconditional pardon of beloved Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife. I don't know you, but you can sleep well tonight. Your nightmare is finally over. Well, boy, oh boy, the president moves the chessboard again. calls it out for what it is. They say Trump was right about everything. Using the system against your opponents. Oh, you just can't make this up. And y'all know Henry then went on to Fox News. And I heard he got a red tie on. Oh, hell. He got a red tie on, family. Hold on.
President Trump has pardoned Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas and his wife. They were indicted last year by the Biden administration Justice Department. Tonight we hear from Congressman Cuellar directly here on set.
Oh, Cuellar. There you go. Look, he got that red tie on. He got that red tie.
Congressman, thanks for coming over.
Thank you so much.
A big day for you. The president posted on Truth Social. For years, the Biden administration weaponized the justice system against their political opponents and anyone who disagreed with them. One of the clearest examples of this was when Crooked Joe used the FBI and DOJ to take out a member of his own party after highly respected Congressman Henry Cuellar bravely spoke out against open borders and the Biden border catastrophe. I want to get your reaction. Was this a surprise?
It was. You know, let me tell you, I got a text from somebody asked me about the pardon. I said, what pardon are you talking about? And then they sent me a copy of that. I do want to thank the president. I want to thank President Trump for pardoning. And of course, I certainly want to say God has been good to my wife, to my family.
God has been good.
And,
God is good all the
I'll
time.
certainly say it again. Thank you, President Trump.
You know, as we put up the charges here, you were indicted by the Department of Justice in 24 on counts of bribery, conspiracy, money laundering. You were accused, along with your wife, of accepting nearly $600,000 in bribes from a company tied to the Azerbaijan government and a bank headquartered in Mexico City. You've denied this.
Yes,
from the beginning.
absolutely. Look, first of all, before any work was done by my wife, I got a legal opinion, number one. Number two ethics opinions before on that. And I would say there was not a single witness that talked about a quid pro quo. Not one single witness. But I would tell you also, I did speak against the Biden administration about open borders. My district didn't like it.
And you think that's what this was about?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're talking about them open borders. Come on in, wide open. I tell you. The main issues and one of the biggest problems that has destroyed this country. You don't have a country. You don't have a border. Plain and simple. Common sense. A lot of these issues, common sense. A lot of these 80-20 issues that are now 90-10 issues, just common sense things. You know, common sense. Common sense wins. They say to hell with common sense, everybody stay woke. And y'all, everybody come on in. We'll house you, we'll feed you. The hell with the taxpayer. The hell with the American people. Come on in. Now you got some of the biggest frauds, the biggest scandals, the biggest people walking around here laughing and smiling and how to be walked out in handcuffs, deported and sent back home. Some of the biggest criminals. You know, but let them come on back out and roam the streets. Ain't nobody did no god doggone vetting. You know, we just seen the other one. Look, the kingpin riding down there, and what's it called? And he done bought the car off Facebook Marketplace. He riding around in his nice Nissan, big nice Nissan SUV. He done bought off Facebook Marketplace. And come to find out, he done killed 6, 7, 8 American citizens. The kingpin riding around down there. Unbelievable. And then the story comes out. He came in through the Biden administration. Yeah. Just can't make that up.
Weaponized. Look, how do they not take in consideration, the legal opinions and other things? How do they do this? 40 days, if you remember, the far left came after me where they spent over $20 million. How do they do this 40 days before an election and other things? And I'll be talking about this later on a lot more in detail, but not a single witness had any talked about any quid pro quo, not one.
So you're obviously from a district, as we put up the district down there in Texas, where Republicans thought hey, with your charges, this could be something that turns around for Republicans. And if you look at the balance of power, just from a political standpoint, right now 219 to 213, Politico writes it this way. Henry Cuellar will seek re-election as Democrat after Trump pardon. Trump's glowing praise of the veteran Texas lawmaker shocked Republicans who have tried to defeat him for years. Are you running for re-election as a Democrat?
Look, I'm a conservative Democrat, and I work across the lines, and I want to see the president succeed, President Trump, and it's good for the country, and I will work with anybody. Now, we might have some differences, but if I can work with him, I will work with President Trump.
But you're going to file as a Democrat in that district?
That is correct. And as I told some of my Republican friends, I think I vote better than some of the Republicans in the caucus.
Ooh. But you do want the Democrats to win the majority.
Featherman Jr. Senator Hoodie Jr. I think you need to put a hoodie on. Go and put a hoodie on. Henry, go on. We got a hoodie for you now. We got a hoodie for you. A hoodie, Senator Hoodie Jr.
Yes, of course, but again, I am focused on my election, and I will work bipartisan with anybody.
Do you think the president expects something from this? For the people who say there has to be some quid pro quo, there has to be something, like he expects a vote, he expects a change in party, something happened. That's what the critics out there would look at this and say.
Look, of course, that's what the critics are going to say.
Yeah. Do you think he expects something?
No, look, the president, look, I really felt for him on some of the charges they filed against him. I think it was very unfair. Anybody that goes through this weaponization like they did on President Trump and certainly on myself, I don't want to wish anybody to go through this type of weaponization.
Oh, yeah.
You had problems with your Democratic colleagues on the issue of immigration numerous times, and you fought that.
And I will still probably have some
problems. And you probably will. But how do you think your Democratic colleagues are going to accept this, talk about this? You heard a couple of them there.
Well, I think Hakeem, was fine. Lloyd Doggett, I love Lloyd Doggett, but Lloyd Doggett is Lloyd Doggett, and that's all I got to say about Lloyd Doggett. We had differences before. Too bad he didn't say anything nice about it. But again, look, the liberal Democrats are still going to have a problem with me because they, some of them don't believe in bipartisanship. I work with Republicans. In fact, in my elections, the reason I win is because I get the independents and I get the moderate Republicans a crossover, and I will get that again.
But just two more things. One is, if you want the Democrats to have the majority, you know that the Democrats really will try to push back and overturn a lot of the president's policies.
Well, it depends. There are some things that I agree with the president. Like, for example, if you want to deport criminals, I'm with you. I'll stand with you. I support detention beds and all that. But, issues like tariffs, I think we need to be a little careful and review certain things. So there'll be some things that I have supported the administration on. It just depends. I don't want to go through a laundry of things.
Depends on the issue.
It just depends on the issue.
On the issue of pardons, you've been in Congress
Jr.
for a long time. You know how this process usually has worked, that there's a long process. There's a pardon system. There's a group that weighs in on it. How did this come about, do you think? Do you think there was a process here, or do you think that the president, he obviously has the constitutional authority, but people who question the process?
Look, I'm not going to second guess the president, except to say to the president, President Trump, thank you.
Bam.
That's the message. Congressman
That's
Cuellar.
it, Brett. That's it, Brett. That's it. Wrap it up. Now look at this bum on CNN. Look. Look at this bum on CNN. And make this up. The hell with this bomb and the hell with CNN. They ought to walk this scum out. You know what I'm saying? They ought to walk him out. There ought to be a sweep down there. Brooklyn Barack, dollar store Obama. We need to stop disrespecting that dollar store. He is way worse than the dollar store. We didn't took everything for granted. Now look where we at. We done took everything for granted, family. I'm telling y'all. Y'all be laughing, but I'm serious.
And a check and balance on this out of control executive branch in this instance where there's reasons to be horrified by what took place, a potential extrajudicial killing off the coast of Venezuela.
On another issue that just has emerged,
And these clowns are calling the boats a fishing boat, a boat full of poison. It's a fishing boat. The J6 pipe bomber is a white man. Man, you just can't make this up. CNN, the fake news media, the mainstream media ought to be ashamed of itself. The pipe bomber was a white man, and these boats were fishing boats. And then they scrolled in and got a picture of what was on the boat. I told y'all, man. We never gonna win with these people, man. They never gonna tell you the truth, you know. And it just won't stop. And they bring this bum up on CNN. And they sick of his butt, especially over there at CNBC and ABC. When they bring him on, they sick of him. They hate the way he talk. They hate the way he beat around the bush. He don't answer questions. You know, they try to hold his feet to the fire. It's the same AI robot talk. You know, it's a disgrace. And then it's the same Trump and MAGA Republicans, Trump and MAGA.
Last several minutes, Leader Jeffries, President Trump has announced a pardon of the Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife, who were charged with bribery. What's your response?
Well, Congressman Cuellar is a beloved member of the House of Representatives, loved in his community, particularly in Laredo. I've had the opportunity to spend time with him down in Laredo in South Texas. I look forward to that moving forward. Listen, the reality is this indictment was very thin to begin with, in my view. The charges were eventually going to be dismissed, if not at the trial court level by the Supreme Court, as they've repeatedly done in instances just like this.
So just to follow up on that, do you agree with the president's pardon here? Do you think that was a good thing then?
I don't know why the president decided to do this. I think
I don't know why the president decided to do it. I don't know. He literally explained multiple times this entire situation. You know why President Trump. That's why I'm sick of. I'm sick of him, man. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of CNN. And look at Wolf up there. I'm sick of it, man. This is why it's the hell with these politicians. We sick of y'all. You know God doggone why Trump pardoned him. And you know how disgraceful your party is. And the weaponization.
Was exactly the right outcome.
Well, Congressman Cuellar, we should note, is one of a handful of House Democrats who sits in a district President Trump won in 2024. So now he has this presidential pardon. Have you had any conversations with the congressman about him potentially switching to the Republican Party?
Oh, hell.
I think Congressman Cuellar is a highly valued member of the House Democratic Caucus, and I expect that he'll continue to remain a highly valued member of the House Democratic Caucus.
What about re-election plans? Has he informed you of that?
No, I think the filing deadline in Texas is upcoming in the next few days. Many of the members of the Texas congressional delegation have yet to file for re-election. I expect that we'll see that happen in advance of the Monday deadline.
We'll see what he decides. The U.S. is immediately pausing immigration applications for individuals from some 19 countries, including Afghanistan, and temporarily holding asylum decisions. Do you see any upside at all to these steps by the Trump administration in the wake of that tragic shooting of two National Guard members here in Washington, D.C. by an Afghan national who was vetted and was here legally?
Yeah, the administration hasn't fully and completely explained their rationale for taking this decision, but here's what I know. Like, the American people want Donald Trump and Republicans to actually keep their promises on the issues that they said they would focus on, which includes dealing with the affordability crisis.
They asked this bum a question about Trump, and again, y'all, I'm telling you, they asked him about the travel ban, and again, going back to the National Guard attack we just took place, and he reverts back. I told you, this is their only talking point of their mess Trump inherited. Again, their mess Trump inherited. Now it's all about affordability. And he thinks it just works. And if you took economics 101, he thinks it just works overnight. I'm sick of this bomb. They ought to be. I think they ought to walk him out in handcuffs. Honestly, live on CNN, we ought to see Hakeem Jeffries in handcuffs walked out and thrown against the wall, thrown against the floor, live on television. That's what I think ought to happen. This bum ought to be ashamed of himself. And this is why people hate you politicians. This is why the American people hate you Democrats. Because the people are not stupid. The American people are not god doggone stupid. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I just want to see how he was going to respond. I wasn't even going to play the last of this clip, but I just want to see how he was going to respond on that. Affordability. You just can't make this up, man. Y'all weigh in with your thoughts. Happy holidays. I'm wishing you all safe travels. That y'all are staying warm. I know it's getting cold. The temperature done dropped over here in Texas. But y'all know we still ain't, it don't get too crazy. It might, I don't know, but it done got a little chilly though. But again, happy holidays, family. God bless you all and your family, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, you guys.